Hello dear ones, welcome to today's class. Today we are moving on to our textbook chapter number 5. Okay, so take page number 150 of your textbook. There you could see the chapter's heading to the Amazon. So you might have heard about Amazon river, right? So today we are going to learn about something about Amazon river. Okay, so before going on to the chapter, I am going to give you an activity. There you could see an activity on page number 150. Look at these pictures. Have you ever done any of the outdoor activities shown in these pictures? If yes, write about your experience in the space provided. If not, which one would you like to do and why? So here there are few outdoor activities given. If you have done any one activity or any more than one activity from this particular activities, you can write here on the space that is provided. You have done the activity and your experience, okay, after doing the activity. And if you haven't done any of these activities before, you just write which activity you would like to do and then why you would like to do that activity. So activities given are swimming, go-karting, trekking, adventurous rides, rock climbing and safari. Okay, so you have to mention if you have done any one activity from this, you can mention that and your experience. If you haven't done any of these activities, you just write what activity you would like to undertake and for what reason. Okay, so this is the activity for you and we will discuss your answers during our live interaction time. Okay, so before going on to the chapter, first let us see the picture of Amazon river. This is the Amazon river and we will see one or two specialities of Amazon river. It is the largest river in the world by volume. What do you mean by volume? Volume means the amount of water that it accumulates. When we take the amount of water that the Amazon river has, it is the largest river in the world. Now, second longest river on the earth. So, what is the longest river on the earth then? It is the Nile river from Egypt, right? So, it is the second longest river on earth. And now, it has over 100 dams but no bridges. So, that means there are 100 dams that is built over Amazon river but there is no bridges to cross Amazon river. So, why there is no bridges to cross Amazon river? The reason we will know when we are studying this chapter. Okay, so this is the picture of the Amazon river. As you could see from this picture, it was one of the longest and largest rivers, right? So now we are moving on to the chapter. So take page number 151. So here before going on to the chapter, there is a question that is given to you. Do you like going on an adventurous trip? So how many of you like to go for an adventurous trip? Just raise your hands. Yes, very good. So now let us read a conversation between Sulaiman and his elder brother Zaid, who is all set to go on an expedition to the Amazon. So now this particular lesson is a conversation between two brothers, Sulaiman and his elder brother Zaid. And elder brother Zaid is an explorer, he is a traveler and he is going for an expedition. Expedition means adventurous trip. So Zaid is going for an adventurous trip to the Amazon river and now Sulaiman and Zaid is having a conversation about Amazon river. So now while reading this lesson we will get to know the many specialities of Amazon river. So I will be taking this lesson in two parts. So the first two pages will be dealt in today's class and the next 2 or 3 pages will be dealt in the next class. Okay. So first just see. So this lesson is in the form of a conversation between Sulaiman and his elder brother Zaid, who is all set to go on an expedition to the Amazon. So now I will read the first paragraph for you. So let us listen. Sulaiman is really excited because his elder brother Zaid, an explorer, is about to go on an adventurous expedition. He is going to travel across the largest river in the world. Do you know the name of the river? It is the Amazon river in the continent of South America. The Amazon originates from the Andes Mountains and drains into the Atlantic Ocean. Along its course, it flows through 5 countries: Peru, Brazil, Venezuela, Ecuador and Bolivia. It is almost 6,400 kilometers long and at some places up to 11 kilometers wide. It is almost like a sea. You cannot see one river bank from the other. So now Here in the first paragraph we have got to know many specialties of Amazon river, and Suleiman is really excited because his elder brother is going to visit the Amazon river. It's an adventurous expedition, okay. Expedition means journey, okay. So he is going to travel across the largest river in the continent of America. So what is the name of the largest river? It's given as Amazon. So here we got to know the origin of Amazon. Amazon river originates in the Indus mountains and drains into Atlantic Ocean. That means it begins in Indus mountain and it ends in Atlantic Ocean, okay. And now it flows through 5 countries. Very important. You have to learn the names of these 5 countries. What are the 5 countries? Peru, Brazil, Venezuela, Ecuador and Bolivia. And it is almost 6,400 kilometers long, and at some places it's 11 kilometers wide. That means you cannot see one bank, one side of the river bank by looking at the other side of the river bank, okay. So it's almost wide like a sea at some points, okay. So this was a speciality about Amazon river that is given in the first paragraph, okay. Now moving on to the next paragraph. Suleiman's brother Zaid is busy at work. Suleiman walks into the room. Suleiman, so it's a conversation going on between Suleiman and Zaid. Suleiman, hello, can I speak to you for a minute? Zaid, hey Suleiman, what is it? Again Suleiman says, I want to ask you something about the Amazon. Zaid says, sure. So Suleiman asks, how is it so large? So how is it so large? Now Zaid says, there are 2 reasons. Firstly, it is located right at the equator. Here look at this map. It rains here almost every single day. Secondly, it is because of the shape of the land around the river. The river basin is like a saucer. When you pour water in a saucer, everything collects in the middle, right? Similarly, when it rains in the river basin, all the water flows into the Amazon river. So now again we got to know some specialities of Amazon river. So Suleiman comes to his elder brother Zaid and asks, like, why the Amazon river is so large, why it is considered as so large. So Zaid says it is for 2 reasons. What are the 2 reasons? Firstly, it is located right at the equator. Because it is located at the equator, it is large, and then it almost rains there every single day. So he says first reason as it is located right at the equator and it almost rains every day in Amazon river. Now secondly, because of the shape of the land around the river. So what is the shape of the land? So here Zaid compares the shape of the land around the river to a saucer. So this is the picture of the saucer. So when you pour water on a saucer, everything collects in the middle, right? When you just try pouring water on a saucer, if you try to pour water on a saucer, everything gets collected in the middle portion. So similarly, when it rains in the river basin, that means river banks, okay, all the water flows into the river. That means if there is rain in the river basin, all the water flows into the river, makes it very large. Okay, so why Amazon river is large? It is large for 2 reasons. The first reason, it is located right at the equator. It rains every single day there, and the shape of the land around the river is like a saucer, and when you pour water on the saucer, everything gets accumulated there, and when it rains in the river basin, water gets collected in the river. That's why the Amazon river is so large. Now moving on to the next few conversations. Suleiman says, so will you be walking along the river bank like we do at the beach? Zaid, no, Suleiman. The Amazon river is surrounded by thick rainforest. The Amazon rainforest is the largest in the world. The trees here are so close to each other that rainwater sometimes take as long as 10 minutes to reach the forest floor. There are no roads or bridges, so we have to rely on pack rafts, canoes and boats. So Suleiman asks, like, we will be able to walk along the banks of the river as we walk in the beaches. So Zaid says, no, we cannot walk along the banks of the river because the Amazon river is surrounded by Amazon rainforest. So what is rainforest? Rainforest is a thick evergreen forest. That means thick evergreen forest with so much of rainfall. It means throughout the whole season the tree will always be in green color. So that's called as evergreen rainforest. Okay. So because as the Amazon river is surrounded by thick rainforest, we cannot walk, but rather we can just use either we can use three modes of traveling. Either we have to rely on packraft, canoes or boats. Okay, there are no roads, no bridges. So now we got to know the reason why Amazon river has no bridges, because Amazon river is surrounded by Amazon rainforest and one cannot walk through that. So we have to rely on packrafts, canoes and boats. So I have given the picture of packrafts. So this is packrafts and this is canoes, and boats you know, right? So the trees are here so close to each other that rainwater can sometimes take as long as 10 minutes to reach the forest floor. That means the Amazon rainforest is the largest rainforest in the world, and the trees are growing so close to each other that when it rains in the rainforest, it almost takes 10 minutes to reach the rainwater on the forest floor. Okay, so the largest rainforest in the world is the Amazon rainforest, and one cannot walk along the banks of the Amazon river because Amazon river is surrounded with Amazon rainforest. So one can only rely on packrafts, canoes and boats. Okay, so now moving on to the next portion. Suleiman, wow, tell me more about the Amazon. I am going to prepare questions on the Amazon for the quiz event at the club tomorrow. Zaid says, well, I suggest you look it up in an encyclopedia and do some research on the internet. I might not have a lot of time. So Suleiman again says, please tell me more about the Amazon and I will leave you alone. So Zaid opens a few websites on his computer. Zaid, well, here are some interesting facts about Amazon. Zain points to the pictures on the computer screen. This here is the biggest tree in the Amazon rainforest. It is called the kapok tree. This is the water lily of the Amazon. It has very large leaves that lie flat on the water. So Suleiman is now very excited to learn more about Amazon river, so that he can prepare a quiz about the Amazon, that he can present this quiz at the club tomorrow. So Said says he don't have much time, but Suleiman again insists Said to tell me more about Amazon river. So what Said does is that Said opens a few websites on his computer and he shows few pictures. So what are the two pictures that Zaid shows? It is the picture of a tree and picture of a water lily. What is the name of the tree? It is the kapok tree. So just see the picture. I have given the picture. It is the kapok tree. Kapok tree, it's the largest tree in the Amazon rainforest. And the water lily, just see the picture of the water lily. It's not a usual kind of a water lily. The leaves of the water lilies are so large that it lie flat on the water. Just see just imagine the width of these leaves from this picture, because it's so large. Okay, so the biggest tree in the Amazon forest is kapok tree. Very, very important MCQs or one word questions can be asked. What next is the water lily of Amazon. It has very large leaves that fly flat on the water. Now moving on to the next portion. So Zaid now explains about kapok tree and water lilies. The kapok tree sometimes grow up to 200 feet. Also, water lilies with leaves as wide as 3 meters have been spotted by explorers. Sometimes the lakes in the rainforest are covered by water lilies with not a spot of water visible. Look at the picture. So Suleiman, so how will you get there and what are you going to do there? Said says, well, we will be flying to Lima, the capital of Peru, this Monday, and this time next week we will be traversing the rainforest in the Amazon basin. So now the kapok tree, he gives an explanation about kapok tree. Kapok tree sometimes grow up to 200 feet and the leaves of the water lilies can be as wide as 3 meters. You can imagine, like, it will be so wide. That means it can be wide as much as wide, so that there won't be any water that will be visible. So now just see Suleiman asks, how are you going to reach Amazon? So he says, he informs that he along with his travel group, they are going to fly. They are going to take a flight to Lima, the capital of Peru, and by the next week they will be traversing the rainforest in the Amazon basin. Okay. So we are going to stop at this point. The next portion of this story will be dealt in the next class. Okay. So while reading this many conversation, you might have come across certain new words. So I have listed 3 new words here. Rainforest. Rainforest means it's a dense evergreen forest with heavy rainfall. And canoe. Canoe is a light, narrow boat driven by paddles. Traversing. Traversing means traveling through. So now certain homework questions. I have listed 3 questions here. So you have to write the answers at the back side of your notebook. Okay. So until we meet next time, thank you.